Namaste, bitches.
Hard Rock.
Free to be lame as you want in this country.
Hard Rock.
Whatever you do, please don't ever get your medical advice from the Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Hard Rock.
Which, if I can bring anything to your Thursday afternoon, is definitely some nausea.
Hard Rock.
The alternative to going older is dying.
Hard Rock.
And that incredibly long-winded explanation, I hope, served absolutely nobody.
Hard Rock.
You know, if you listen to the top 20, that's fine, but there is some visual element of this. I mean, like, you're going to miss the whole beard.
Hard Rock.
You know, the fact that my laziness wins out over my narcissism, I think, is probably a win somewhere.
Hard Rock.
And if that's what you want to do, like, just own it, bro. Just say it.
Hard Rock.
This will probably get banned in Russia, but honestly, we're not doing all that good in that country anyway.
Hard Rock.
So you're getting me all worked up. This is completely not worth it.
Hard Rock.
The opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily the opinions of the Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Greetings and salutations, Hard Rock Lunchbox members, and of course, members of the top 20. It is a end of the year, almost December 28th, 2023. You're going to have to start getting used to saying 2024 soon, but will I? I know as a programmer, one of the things I always end up writing in is some sort of exception to catch people when they write, you know, January, whatever, the year that it was. So I always have some sort of like, hey, did you mean for this to be a year ago? So I write that in a lot of codes. So I expect it to come back up. I'm trying a little something new with the camera today. Like, I know it's hard to believe that there's still more stuff for me to try, but there is. And I turned the cameraman off, right? There's a cameraman feature. I'm going to just pull this off of me. There's a cameraman feature with my new Lumina camera, which I love, by the way. It's still not a sponsor, but that's okay. We forgive. Lots of people are not sponsors of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, and that's cool. You're free to be lame as you want in this country. Also, my headphones are on backwards. What are we even doing? Man, I just... Namaste, bitches. Namaste. I have so many New Year's resolutions I want to make, and I would like to keep at least all of them, but I just don't think that that's going to happen. Yeah, okay, so chat wants to know what the cameraman features. Right, I should have said that. So in the Lumina, it actually has this smart AI. If you remember several episodes ago, I told you that I was losing the battle with AI, and that's what I was referring to. So what it can do is, actually, I wonder if I can even show you. This will do nothing for... No, actually, I don't want to mess with it. It took me a little while to get working. So you have two options with the Lumina, right? You can use the cameraman feature for framing. Or you could just do static framing, right? Which is what I have now, which means if I move like this or move like this, camera stays static. It doesn't zoom in or out. It's basically designed to lock onto my face. Sorry, AI. Lock onto my face and just kind of stay with it given a certain set of parameters, like where I want my face to be. Top, middle, bottom. Or you can turn that on. The AI will follow you around and stuff. Now, I've watched it. I have heard reports that it makes people somewhat seasick. Which, if I can bring anything to your Thursday afternoon, is definitely some nausea. But I thought, as of the last 2 weeks, and I don't know why this was, and I couldn't figure out why this was, but it was too close. There's just too much of this going on. And there's a lot of this going on anyway, and I just don't think we need extra of it. So I used the static framing to pull back. I feel like it's okay, right? I feel like it's going to be fine. I got the lighting down, good. The beard is all straggly. It's not as good as it was last week. I did notice something last night, though, before I went to shower, because I do that. I do shower. And I don't know enough about this, but maybe somebody out there does. And maybe nobody cares. In fact, like, when we upgrade that maybe to a definitely nobody cares, because this is, come on, facts. But what I'm realizing about my beard, and I don't understand. So when it comes in, when it's short, it changes color, right? Like, depending on the week I have, it can be gray or it can be my normal sort of dirty blonde, brownish hair, depending on the time of year. Right now it's brown. But it can be gray. Like, it really can be gray. And, like, as it grows in, it's less and less gray. And I don't understand what that is. Is it just more stressful to be short facial hair? Or, you know, because, like, I think I would consider dyeing it if I thought it was a real issue. But I will say it has been mentioned that, like, with the beard and with it getting gray, like, I do look older than I am. And, you know, I was going for distinguished and respected. But, like, you know, older... I'd rather not go older if I can help it. I mean, but the alternative, right? Like they say, like, the alternative to going older is dying. And that's not older, but that's stopping. And I don't want to do that. But anyway, so yeah, that's what the cameraman feature follows me around, zooms in and out, depending on, like, you know, if I'm going like this or it'll follow me around. If I just leave it static, it'll be static, and then I can go around the different parts of the screen like that. That's all that is. And that incredibly long-winded explanation, I hope, served absolutely nobody any good. Did that answer anything out there, Jimmy?
It's always a no!
Yeah, I didn't think so. That's cool. There's... Oh. Getting interesting. Yeah, scraggly. Sorry. My bad. My B. I'm gonna ignore the chat for a few minutes just so I can get on with the top 20, because I've got some light housekeeping going on here. First of all, there's a brand new top 20 out. Unsurprisingly, it is Thursday. Also, unsurprisingly, I neglected to promote it again, even though I did do that bounce down the bumper, the intro reel. Maybe I'll post it later, but probably not. I cannot for the life of me figure out why I simply cannot just do this step. It takes seconds, and I just will not do it. I suck so bad. Like, it just so bad. But anyway, so there's a new top 20 out. This is like I'm talking about, like, retirement fantasies, like, you know, what it's like, what it's going to be like just to, like, retire and be like, cool, that thing needs fixing, and I can do it right now because I don't have to go somewhere else, and just, like, the backlog of life that really is going on. I was talking about how I got my ADHD, courtesy of modern medicine, and how it's different than, you know, people that are just getting it naturally, and, you know, just free time and all that other stuff. Free time, which is what you would need to watch the top 20, but, you know, if you listen to the top 20, that's fine, but there is some visual element of this. I mean, like, you're going to miss the whole beard. I mean, like, why even, like, what are the troops even fighting for? There is no discussions and drinks from Bacon's my podcast this week, mainly because they're lazy, but also mainly because Jimmy's out of town. But they do have a full interview with Paul Travers, Big Picture Media, on Monday, if you want to check that out. And that's about it on Stranger TV. So, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to it. I don't have much to say because it is kind of the end of the year. It is sort of a time for reflection. And since next week is going to be the top 20 plus countdown of Song of the Year, or Box Song of the Year, or whatever the hell it's called. It is the song, the most played song of the year. So it tends to be the most coveted of all the absolutely meaningless countdowns that we do here on the box. But yet, you know, people like what they like, and, you know, I'm not gonna judge them. Speaking of other things that comes up next week, I believe, is the Bimpy Awards. I think the Bimpy Awards are the first week in January on Bacon's My Podcast, so be sure and check that out. That'll be super interesting, and I'm not saying that I'm not on it, but I'm also not saying that I am on it, so you'll have to watch and find out. But yeah, so I was I tend to use this last show of the year as more of like a kind of reflection, like what we do, like where are we even at, that kind of thing. But I do want to pepper in just a little bit of political because it's just very funny to me. First of all, the tweet, or I don't even know what it is, the stupid thing on Truth Social, like the barely social media platform where former President Donald Trump is talking about how he's responsible for the success of Home Alone 2 because he is a cameo in a scene in the Plaza Hotel. And I listen. I'm an artist, a musician, like a subset. Like if I was a Reddit thread, it would definitely be artist, subreddit, musician, subset, needy. So I understand what it means to be like, needing of the attention and the spotlight and all that other stuff. I have never in my entire life felt the need to just kind of promote myself in a ridiculous sort of manner, in a method that does not matter at all, about something that has absolutely nothing to do with me. I am definitely guilty of when I am in conversation of being able to talk to somebody about a situation they're having, and then immediately talk about a situation that I have also had in the past. I've been told that is really like not something you should do, but I always feel compelled to do so when it's something that's particularly difficult for somebody for the person I'm talking to go through. Not so much be like, well, I did it too, so it's not that big of a deal. I've always looked at it as the approach of like, I've been through this and other people I know have been through this. So A, you can totally get through this. B, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And C, it's just not going to be that scary if it happens to all those people. Listen, I'm sure I am loaded with conceit and arrogance. So many people over the years have decided to call me out on it, and maybe they're right, maybe they're not. I mean, I know what my motivations are. I also know how I am in terms of attention and how much I don't particularly want it. In most cases, I do want it whenever I am trying to make something a point or trying to speak to something that I think is important, and I used to do that in social media all the time, and I think it was my arrogance that kept bringing me to have these arguments that just didn't matter to anybody that was listening, because I thought it did. I thought I actually, in true conceit and true arrogance, I thought I would spend that time trying to fix the ills of the world by explaining to people like why they're wrong about stuff or how things actually work. Like geopolitics is a pretty difficult thing to understand if you're a C student or worse, right? So I figure I can dumb stuff down because I do that all the time. I kind of do it for a living. I certainly do it here all the time whenever I break anything down. And I can explain things in great detail because God has blessed me with an unbelievable ability to speak without, with minimal breaths and minimal interruption, which is why I also don't seem to have a partner on air. Which, I get it. I see what's up. But I just, when you start looking at things in terms of like narcissism and like sort of like this attention-seeking disorders and stuff like that, and you really start seeing people for what they are, you really start seeing it kind of everywhere. Like, because like as the great Colin Quinn says about like political leaders, like, well, where do you find political leaders? You don't. They find you, because they are exactly those kinds of people that just want your attention. Like, all eyes on me. Like all eyes on me, in the words of the great Bo Burnham. So it's just more information about like just how unbelievably all of Donald Trump is just all about all of Donald Trump. And right now, because he's running for president again, it is the highest ticket item he can get. It's constant free publicity, and it's constant attention. And why wouldn't he want that? Like, why wouldn't you do that? It's just feeding your narcissistic love. Like, if I was a true narcissist, I'd be on the air every goddamn day. And I'd be promoting it all the goddamn time. Though, the fact that my laziness wins out over my narcissism, I think is probably a win somewhere. I don't know. But that's not the politics I wanted to tell you about. Lauren Boebert is switching her districts in Colorado from the 3rd Congressional District to the 4th Congressional District. I didn't even know you could do that, but I guess she moved. And the reason she's doing that, according to Politicos, is that she doesn't stand a chance in hell of winning this time. Now, I don't know if it's because she's a complete an utter moron, and maybe the people of the 3rd District of Colorado finally caught on to that, or the challenger last time that came within striking distance of taking her seat is doing even better this year, or the fact that the conservative evangelicals have finally decided to not look the other way when somebody on the moral high ground is jerking off her boyfriend in a public theater with pregnant people around and vaping into their faces and stuff. Like, even though the evangelicals seem completely fine still backing Trump, somebody who's been married 3 or 4 times with several different kids and baby mamas, and absolutely fuck that porn star. Like, it is unbelievable that people with a good religious center are like, yeah, that's my guy. And that's why I say all the time, whenever I'm talking to Christians or good Christians, like, most good Christians are absolute shit Christians. And that is a real problem, because they talk about, like, don't see what I do, see what I tell you I think, and see what I believe. And that tends to be the biggest problem I keep running into, especially with religious people. Like, yeah, you go to church, but you keep forgiving all this horrible behavior. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I read in the Bible where Jesus was like, can we get the fuck rid of all these migrants? Because I can't tell you, because it doesn't exist in there. I mean, sure, Jesus wasn't all about curing poverty, but he certainly was about caring for the sick and the downtrodden among us. That's like one of the tenets of Christianity. And yet all these good Christians cannot wait to get rid of all these migrants that are coming in from the rest of the world. They don't give a shit what's going on in Ukraine. I can't figure out what the hell they're thinking about what's going on between Israel and Hamas, because that is just such a mess all over the place. And the simple fact that, like, pretty much every country in the world at this point, including the United States, is saying to Israel, like, hey man, can you stop bombing refugee camps? So, like, and I am not pro-Hamas at all, but I am aware that we have stuff like smart bombs and smart military tactics. I think we could probably be doing a little bit better of a job, but Netanyahu has made it quite clear he is not interested in that at all, and it's not really about Hamas. It's about wiping Palestine off the face of the map. And if that's what you want to do, like, just own it, bro. Just say it. Like, obviously it's fine for the rest of the world, because most people don't seem to give a shit that Putin just invaded Ukraine on a whim and now is doubling down because he doesn't want the whole world to see his teeny little weenie. And yeah, this will probably get banned in Russia, but honestly, we're not doing all that good in that country anyway, so who really cares? I'm so tired. I did see the clip of Nikki Haley refusing to answer, what the Civil War, like what started the Civil War, and I think that that's probably about to just cost her all the moderates. Although I don't know, because, like, honestly, not even believing that slavery caused the Civil War or was a cause of the Civil War, like, doesn't seem to bother people. Like, so you're getting me all worked up. This is completely not worth it. Everybody have a Merry Christmas? Found out my daughter had never seen the Home Alone movies on Christmas, so we rectified that. She has now seen both Home Alone movies, so that's one. There we go. That's a good one. It was it was a good, chill, solid Christmas. So, like, thank you for asking, and I hope you guys all had a good one, whatever you guys celebrate. In terms of what we accomplished this year, looking back on this year, for me personally, and for me in a music point of view, a music perspective, and the Hard Rock Lunchbox perspective, I feel, and I could be wrong, because this is completely off the top of my head, I feel that 2023 may have been one of the absolute worst years for me creatively, physically, maybe. Hard for me to tell. Hard for me to judge the physical one, because it is going up. Like, I'm getting better, so I might have bottomed out, but, like, I still bottomed out in 2023. I'm in this place, and the only reason I'm bringing this up because I'm seeing shimmers of this with other people, with my friends. I'm in this space where, like, I absolutely know I could be doing better. I can see where I can be doing better, and I physically and mentally cannot seem to do better. And I am trying to figure, like, I was actually just thinking, just like within the past hour, like how hard I am struggling just to keep my mood up today. Nothing has happened. It's just Thursday, but I'm exhausted. I'm in an exceptional amount of pain for a couple of maladies, some of which I will tell you. So it's technically, or not technically, but commonly referred to as tennis elbow. And what happens is your tendon, is your like medical minute, your tendon, as it attaches to your elbow, the tendon that runs all the way up here, like if you go like this, if you go like that and make a fist, you can sort of feel this tendon that runs all the way here. It connects to your elbow, right? Where it connects to your elbow is a weak spot. That is usually, I'm honestly, whatever you do, please don't ever get your medical advice from the Hard Rock Lunchbox. Absolutely ever. Never try. So it's usually like 90% correct, but probably not, because I did not go to med school. I'm not a doctor, although I did stay at a Super 8, or Motel 6, or whatever you're supposed to say. I don't know. Hotel Inn Express? Holiday Inn Express. Maybe that's it. Anyway, so it attaches right there. Right there. And when I tell you, the other day, I hit this spot exactly in the side of a doorway in my house with the force that I assume can only be equaled by an F-16 landing on an aircraft carrier. I saw not only stars, but I saw the origin of creation from that amount of pain. And I don't even like tennis. But here I am, struggling with that. So now I'm all banged up on this side. My hand is still all banged up. Something happened to my neck yesterday. I have no idea what it was. I was at the chiropractor, so it could have been the adjustment. I've been having headaches constantly because of stuff going on in my upper back because of the herniations of my discs. So when I tell you 2023 was definitely kind of a lower point, that's kind of where I'm coming from. And where that translates into my ability to do stuff and get stuff done and do good work out in the world, be good in the world, it's because I am so goddamn tired and so fatigued and so, I'm going to say depressed, but I don't mean that in a clinical sense. I meant like just like that compressed but low, that it makes things just absolutely impossible to get things done because the motivation isn't there, right? Like if everything just sucks, what's the motivation to keep going? You know, all the difficulties and stuff that I've been having, like even with shows, like putting shows together and performing at them. Like those are things, so like usually the 30 to 40 minutes that I spend on stage is some of the happiest stuff I get to do. It's like when you're doing what God put you, or, you know, whoever put you down here, who like breathed life into you to do, when you're doing those things, it feels different, right? I love that. I love doing that. But it has been such a strain this year because all the shows have been difficult. They've all been difficult to book. I haven't been asked on a single show this past year at all. Nobody asked us to be on anything. And even when, you know, like I was talking a couple weeks ago, even when we did the Unplugged show, like that was kind of like a personal disaster for me at the end. And like, unfortunately kept like causing dividends, right? Like, because I kept getting bothered by it, and now it's putting me in a place where I don't even want to bother doing the work again. Like, the only reason I'm even considering it is because, first of all, I'm a goddamn addict and an idiot. But the other reason is because other people are interested in trying to help put it together. And I am such a sucker for somebody just putting in an ounce of effort that I will just throw whatever I have behind that to make sure that it happens. Like, we have a show booked at Theories in April because a band from Boston asked us if we wanted to play it. I was just so goddamn grateful to be asked to do anything, to be asked to the goddamn prom, basically, that I said yes. I have no idea what the show's going to look like at all. A bunch of prog rock bands. We're going to meet some new people, and that's going to be fun, but it's Theories, and it's close, and it's local, and honestly, somebody asked. But, like, who knows if that show's going to be a disaster? I have no idea. Next Unplugged show, I think people are going to walk out while I play. Of course they are. Absolutely, of course they are. So I got to figure out if I'm going to care or not, and then just kind of go from there. But I am so hopeful, still, like a child. I am so hopeful and believe in the future and how much better things can be, because I think things can always be better. And the one thing about being like towards the bottom is that there really aren't many other options other than going up. So I'm entering 2024 like in a bright spot, hopefully, and a better spot, a better curve on my health, except for my tennis elbow. Maybe I should start playing tennis. I don't know. But I'm aiming high for 2024 is the point I'm trying to make. I'm going to try and make things better. I'm going to try and make some changes. If there are things that you are not happy with in your existence, I suggest you try and do that too. New Year's resolutions are silly and they're stupid because you can make a change absolutely anytime you want. But I do know that we're all going to be talking about it over the next couple of days. So you might as well use it to your advantage. Figure out what you don't like that's happening right now. Take one very small step to change it. Write down all the good things that happen to you in a given day, even if it's just one thing. Who knows? Learn a new card game. Do a puzzle. Succeed at something. Succeed at anything. Go take a walk. Go punch a kid. I don't know. Whatever makes you feel better. The opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily the opinions of the Hard Rock Lunchbox. Is there any way the next top 20 isn't starting with that clip? Of course not. Of course not. It's definitely going to end with this clip, though, because it's time for some day to remember, which means it's time for me to shut up. And that's good news for absolutely everybody.